Before we begin, I want you to imagine something. You open your eyes, and all you see is darkness. Hot metal walls shaking beside you. The sound of a giant engine breathing like a monster. And you know, one wrong sound, one wrong move, and the crew will find you. This is not a movie. This is the real story of a boy who survived 11 days inside a ship's engine room with no food, no light, and absolutely no way back. If you're ready, let's start. His name was Ethan Graves, a 20-year-old from the outskirts of a small coastal town. On the surface, he looked like any regular kid, quiet, skinny, a little lost. But inside, Ethan was carrying a weight most adults would break under. His father disappeared when he was 12. His mother battled addiction. And by 20, Ethan was drowning in debts he never created. Every door he opened slammed in his face. Jobs wouldn't hire him. His home didn't feel like home. His future looked like a dead end. But every day, he watched ships leave the harbor. Massive steel giants cutting through the ocean like they owned the world. And something inside him whispered, "If you want a new life, you'll have to leave the old one behind." So he made a choice. Not a smart one, not a safe one, but for him, it was the only one. He was going to escape on a cargo ship heading across the ocean to a place where no one knew his name. Ethan's eyes were set on one ship, a massive 900-foot container vessel called the Arcadia Star. It was scheduled for an 11-day journey to another continent. He spent 3 weeks studying it from behind trucks, fences, and stacked crates. He memorized guard rotations. He memorized crew patterns. He learned which alarms were active and which ones were broken. But most importantly, he discovered a spot no one checked. A narrow, suffocating maintenance gap behind the secondary engine unit. Barely enough for a human. Hot, dark, isolated. And if he hid there, there was a chance he'd survive the entire crossing. Was it insane? Absolutely. But Ethan wasn't thinking about danger. He was thinking about escape. The night he finally decided to go, the docks were cold. Fog rolled in from the ocean. A few truck lights flashed across containers, making long shadows. At 2:16 a.m., Ethan whispered to himself, "This is it." He crawled under a moving forklift, slipped behind a stack of metal crates, and waited for the guards to turn away. Then he moved. Fast, silent, desperate. He slipped down the steel staircase into the belly of the ship. The deeper he went, the louder everything became. Pipes hummed, engines groaned, heat pressed against his skin. And when he finally reached the narrow maintenance gap, he squeezed inside, chest first. His entire world shrank to a coffin-sized space. Metal, heat, darkness.
He couldn't stand. He couldn't sit properly. He couldn't stretch his legs. This was it. This was home for the next 11 days. He pressed his back to the wall, closed his eyes, and prayed the ship would leave before anyone found him. Minutes later, the engines roared to life. There was no escape now.
The first day was shock. Ethan expected darkness. He expected noise, but he didn't expect the heat. The air felt like fire. Sweat rolled down his spine. His clothes stuck to his skin. He pressed his ear to the wall, hearing metal scream and shake. The ship was moving, fast. He had brought nothing. No backpack, no food, Not even a bottle of water. His stomach twisted. His throat burned. He tried to sleep, but the floor vibrated like a heartbeat. Constant, heavy, violent. He kept telling himself, just survive today, only today. But deep down, he knew 10 more days were waiting for him. By the second day, thirst took over everything. His tongue felt dry and heavy. His throat felt scraped. Every swallow hurt. His mind began to panic. What if I die here? What if no one even finds my body? What if this was a stupid mistake? Above him, he heard footsteps, crew members, laughing, talking about meals, food, coffee, cold drinks, things Ethan can only dream of. He wanted to scream for help, but screaming meant being thrown off the ship or, much worse. So he stayed still, silent, invisible, and the thirst kept growing. On the third day, Ethan's body broke down. He shivered despite the heat. His lips were cracked and bleeding. His muscles felt stiff like he was turning to stone. He closed his eyes and started seeing things. His childhood house, his dog running in the yard, his mother smiling like she used to before life crushed her. He didn't know if he was dreaming or if his brain was giving up. He whispered, "I can't die here. Not like this, not alone." But the darkness didn't answer. On day 4, something happened that nearly ended everything. He heard boots, loud, heavy, coming straight toward the engine compartment. He held his breath. Then he heard something worse, voices and flashlights clicking on. The crew was checking the area. He pressed his forehead against the metal, heart punching against his ribs. A flashlight beam passed inches from where he hid. He could hear a man breathing on the other side of the wall. If he so much as exhaled loudly, it was over. One of the crew members stepped so close that Ethan could feel dust falling onto his shoulder. The man paused. Ethan's entire body froze. Then, after the longest 10 seconds of his life, the man walked away. The footsteps faded. The door closed. The engine roared again. Ethan exhaled slowly, silently, painfully. He had survived another day, but the worst days were still ahead.